What's up guys, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're driving and vibing.
Today we are recapping our first month progress report for working on the Airstream Argosy. We're going to talk about the projects we did, we're going to talk about the money we spent, and our plans for next month, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to catch up and kind of go over this whole overview of what we've been working on, what we plan to work on, and we thank you guys for following along with us. If it's your first time here, we would love for you to subscribe and come along on this renovation journey with us.
So many things happened this month, and just like the first month with any huge project like this, that first step up a mountain was kind of challenging. It was exciting and challenging, and it offered a whole host of emotions.
Yeah, I think we were a little intimidated at first just to even like get started. We didn't know where to start, we didn't know what to do first and what order, so it was a little overwhelming and we just didn't know how to take that first step.
And yeah, definitely, like Olivia said, I was nervous the very first week or two, but I know I had a breakthrough where I became not so nervous and more aggressive and excited, I would say.
Yeah, I think once we started really diving into it and getting into some of the dirty work, and you can't be like so timid anymore, we were like, okay, like let's just dive in. Like, we're not gonna hurt this or anything. We can fix most things if we, you know, don't do something right. So I mean, we just have to get started and keep going, and we will learn along the way.
What kind of helped us with transitioning to that attitude of not being afraid was that it was already gutted and it didn't even have a floor, so we didn't have much to lose at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And once we towed it home safely, that was a huge step for us. We were very nervous because the subfloors were already removed, so we didn't have that extra like kind of barrier and like cushion for the shell on the frame when we were going down the road. So that was just a little nerve-wracking. We didn't know if those pressure points were gonna get too much stress, and we didn't want to break a window. I mean, just so many things were going through our head.
And so talking about moving the rig, let's go ahead and jump into some of the projects that we did complete this month, because like Olivia said, getting the rig here was that first big hurdle. So once we got it here, we kind of created a plan, and that was one of the biggest things, I thought, once we decided that we were going to do the total shell removal.
Yeah, and so one of the first steps we really took once we moved it here was removing the banana wraps and the belly pan off, because we couldn't see the bolts underneath the C channel, and we just that really helped us be able to look at and kind of see what we were working with, and that's kind of when we decided we wanted to go ahead and take the shell off.
Yeah, it wasn't easy removing the belly pan, but it did make us decide that, all right, we really know what we need to do next.
We got a better look at the frame and just some of the work it needed, and we started thinking about how difficult it was going to be to kind of get the subfloor in, especially because that channel had bent a little bit in some places, so that really needs to be like bent back out to fit the new plywood in.
And then after we did the belly pan and the banana wrap is when we really dove headfirst in, and we removed the inner skins. That was the biggest project we've completed so far on this.
Yes, and the most time consuming. Drilling out like thousands of rivets in a day is not the most like fun thing in the world, but it is satisfying to see, you know, we got so much done, and then we had access to the insulation and the wiring, which we totally wanted to redo from the beginning.
Yeah, we were impressed with how well the insulation was. It was very encouraging to see that there was absolutely no water damage on any of this insulation, so that was good. But we did remove it all because we definitely wanted to move forward in a different direction than this fiberglass insulation.
Yeah, and the wiring was a big thing for us. We wanted to do a complete overhaul on all the wiring, and we have some friends that are really going to help us create a great plan for all of our wiring systems and what we need, and so we just really needed easy access to get back there and run all of that.
And so that removing the wires, the old wires, was one of the last projects we completed. But really the very last project this month that we've been working on is taking all of the feedback you guys have left us and deciding a new route, because our Reflectix route for insulation proved to be not the most efficient, and we have done so much research on Airform's in the past like 3 months, and we've even met some folks who did the Reflectix installation, and that's one reason why we really wanted to go that route in the beginning.
Yeah, so like it had been recommended to us by a friend, and they said it worked well for them. We'd seen tons of people doing these restorations using just the Reflectix, like 2 layers and air gaps in between each, but it does seem like for our needs, we want something a little more intense and sturdy. So we have researched this installation a lot. You guys sent us some great videos. You sent us this great one of I think it was Greg Virgo, and he really talked in depth about like some of the like more math side and scientific side of things. He's an engineer, and that was really helpful explaining, especially since I was kind of like gathering little ideas from different people and different sources and kind of coming up with what we might want to go with, and watching that video really helped solidify our plan.
And what is our plan right now as far as the research? Because Olivia is doing the most in-depth research on this, and then she'll just touch base with me and say what she's found, and I go along with her research.
This is what we're going to do. No, so right now the tentative ideas, using rigid foam boards for most of the walls, and then like the Roxol rock wool for any curved parts that the rigid foam board would just be too hard to fit up in there, and then Reflectix as our vapor barrier in between.
And all of that stuff is relatively inexpensive compared to some of the insulation that I also researched online, so I like that route so far. It seems like it's pretty encouraging.
Yeah, we definitely feel hesitant about the spray foam route. We don't want to pay to have it done, really, and doing it yourself seems like you can really kind of warp the aluminum, and it's so permanent.
So next up, we want to kind of address the expenses that we incurred this month, the first month on our renovation, and I assume that this month will be the least expensive month of all, because we only demolish things, you know, so we didn't have any huge expenses. We spent a total of $180 this month, which went towards all tools and supplies.
Yeah, mostly bottle jacks and jack stands and things like that, because we were trying to give the shell a little bit more support without the subflooring to help disperse some of the weight.
And we also needed a lot of these jacks in preparation for lifting the shell off too. But what we found is we probably bought a little too many, so hopefully we'll get like $20 to $40 back whenever we return some of these to Walmart. And also we bought a crowbar, drill bits, and just random knick-knack tools, a tape measure, things like that.
Yeah, just things that you think you had or we once had but either got rusted or lost along the way. So we're working with very little right now and just kind of picking it up as we go, or using what we have available to us.
So now, to finish up the video, we want to touch on kind of the path forward for March, because I guess that's right around the corner. And there are a very few specific projects that are going to take a lot of energy and preparation to get done in March.
One of the first steps we really need to take is solidifying our plan of how we are going to support the shell before we lift it off, and kind of frame it up just so that it is ultra supported and not going to twist or shift or anything like that.
Yeah, there are a lot of videos on YouTube, and there are a lot of articles on air forums, and we've done our research, but it's been pretty casual up to this point. But we really need to draw out a diagram of the exact measurements of what wood we want to support it, how many cross beams we want to have, and really your advice is well taken if you have any to give us, because we're not experts on this by any means, but we're going to go with people who have historically done it in the past with success.
Next up, after we get it all braced up, is going to be the actual shell removal and getting it jacked up so we can pull the frame out from underneath.
And that will be, you know, a serious project, but hopefully that only takes a matter of hours. You know, that will be a one-day project to lift it up. And then the rest of the month, we really want to restore the metal trailer frame, which will mean we're gonna have to sand every piece of metal and get this layer of paint off right now, repair all the rust, and then even re-weld in a lot of places.
After that, we'll go ahead and put the new axles on. They have the brakes already wired up, which is awesome. We'll go ahead and put some new tires on so it'll be easy to move the frame around when we need to work on it. And then we will be coating it with like the POR-15 or PR-15, I don't know how you say it, but to treat all of the rust and make sure that that doesn't continue.
So, and that's really, in my expectation, will take the whole month of March. And if we can accomplish all these goals in March, I'll be happy, and I think we'll be right on the right path.
Yeah, at this point we are just really dodging the rain. We might come to a little more of a standstill or a slowdown once it gets into the wiring part of things, because there's a lot of planning involved. It's a little out of our expertise, and we're going to be thankfully working with some of our friends. Tom from Morton's on the Move is going to help us totally design the wiring layout for everything and come up with a great solar setup, so we're excited about that.
Yes, those are the fun things to look forward to down the road once we get these very basic needs done, you know.
So we'll probably go ahead and wrap it up now. I am really struggling and losing my voice. I think I have tonsillitis or something like that. So my voice is fading and I'm having like coughing fits. So thank you for checking in with us and going through this overview with us and kind of getting an idea of where the future is going to take us.
And also thank you to a few of our Vibe Tribe members who made it out to my gig last night. The very first gig playing music since we've been back home. And we have a lot more in March, so we will release that schedule if any of y'all are in the area to come on out, because we love meeting you guys.
Yes, thank you guys so much. And they even wore their Vibe Tribe t-shirt, so if you have a Vibe Tribe t-shirt, wear it so we know who you are.
Yes, so again, like Olivia said, thank you for watching the video. We will keep putting out these Argosy renovation videos and let you know how the progress is coming.
Bye guys, we'll see you next time.
Later on.